Jaya Shri Radeshyam and welcome. Nityanandam Maham Bande Karne Lambita Mauktikam Chaitanya Graha Rupena Pavitri Krita Bhutalam. Jai Nitai, Jai Gour, Jai Shri Radeshyam. Jai Guru Shri Guru, Jai Guru Shri Guru, Jai Guru Shri Guru. Mahavira Radharamana ki Jai. Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki Jai. Two good news. One is that the day of this video recording, I have finished this paper. It's called What is Bhajanitai Gaur Radhesham and how it can truly enhance your spiritual growth. Enhance your spiritual growth. It's a paper of 9 pages with Shastric Pramanas studies, where I am giving you like so many insights on what is Bhajanitai Gaur Radhesham Japo Hare Krishna Hare Ram, to understand properly what is this kirtan. Is this a kirtan? Is a mantra? The starting page reads, is this a mantra or a harinam? If this mantra is employed, does it signify that we are chanting a form of namavas, a shadow of the holy name? It is appropriate to refer to Nitai, Gour and Radhesham together. Are they on the same platform? I will address these questions in this text to illuminate and enhance understanding. Trinadapi Sunishana. And from there, the work starts. It's super interesting, honestly speaking, not because it's my own writing, but it's interesting because many of the concepts that are here explained in a very concise and precise form are concepts that a big number of devotees, even those ones who have been walking for several years or decades the bhakti path, are still confusing. It's things like mantra or harinam. What is mantra? What is harinam? What is the difference between kirtan and sankirtan? Is all of this is the same thing? Well, with these 9 pages, inside the 9 pages are the answers on all this, all by logic and shastra. By reading, you will learn so much. Actually, it will be very interesting for all of you, I'm sure, to take a look to this paper. Actually, it's for free download in this very moment, and you can go to my Patreon /Paramananda108, and from there you find the link and download in high quality to your phone, to your tablet. You can read on your computer. Wherever you are, you can take a look and read. So go to Patreon and download it from there. The second thing interesting is that I have 10 copies of this small book or pamphlet, as you want to call it. Is only 40 pages. That 30 of the pages or more are in Hindi language, and the other pages are in English. What it contain a biography of Sri Radharaman Sharandas Dev, writing by my very friend Sri Vraj Gopal Das Agarwal. The third good news, not only 2 but 3, is that I have copies available of this book in case that you cannot find or you would like to get a copy directly from me, that the 100% of the book will go to the writer. Then you can contact me as well on my email, gourasangha, gourasangha@gmail.com, and I can parcel to you those books. And a third great news is that Vraj Gopal just released a new writing. It's another small booklet that it has 47 pages and is only in Hindi. This work is called In Search of Puri's Bhadevava. The more static lila of Bhadevava, with so many miracles, such as moving the Ratha Yatra and so on and so forth, occur on in Jagannath Puri, Puridam, just as Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. So this booklet or this mini book is also available, a new release of Dalu, and you can get some copies from me as well. Ask me by private everything, of course, and I will ship happily for you. What I am offering are mainly material that I want to send abroad. If you are in India, you can contact directly and to get directly from them. But friends who are abroad, overseas, then they can get all this material directly from me, and I will take very good care that everything will arrive safe to you. Okay, let's get started. Jai Guru Nitai, Jai Nitai Gour. The Lord's dear devotees, the Gaudiya Vaishnavs, paid another yearly visit to Puri. This time, Shivanand Sen's wife had a 7-year-old child with her. Shivanand had named him Puridas, after Parmanand Puri, as the Lord had asked him to do last time. Shivanand laid the child at the feet of the Lord. The Lord, addressing the child, said, "Say Krishna, dear." The child did not respond. The Lord repeated the request, but the child kept quiet. The Lord, feeling very sad, said, "Alas, I failed to make the child utter the name of Krishna." Svarup said, "No, my Lord, it is not so. The child has accepted Krishna's name as a mantra. How can he utter it in public?" Are you here? another important thing that we just get here. Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Kirtan? No. Here is the mantra. Wow. We have another big pramana. And the answer of Gouranga. Oh, doesn't matter? The Lord said and asked the tiny being to speak anything else. The child quickly recited a shloka, Shravso Kuvalajam. Perhaps the child had not yet learned even the alphabet. All therefore were amazed to see him recite a Sanskrit verse. Jai Ho. The Lord was naturally very happy. Addressing the child, he again said, "Since you have mentioned the earrings Shravaso Kuvalayam of the gopis in your verse, your name will be Karnapur." Jai Ho! Jai Ho! Jai Ho! This is our Gauranga. Wow! Kavi Karnapur. Karnapur is an ornament for the ears. Besides, you will be a great poet. Later on, Kavi Karnapur wrote a number of books, including the famous Chaitanya Chandrodaya. The Lord's wanderings came to an end. He was now 30 years old. The remaining 18 years of his Leela were spent at one place, at Puri. He spent 6 years of this remaining period with the Gaudiya Odija devotees, as usual. During this period, Rup came to Puri. He stayed with the Lord for 10 months. Then Sanatana came to Puri. He stayed for about a year. For both Rup and Sanatan, the Puri visit proved to be the last meeting with the Lord. Nitai has been directed by the Lord to stay in Bengal for spreading and distributing Nam Prem, love for Krishna and the name of Hari, and not to come to Puri every year, but Nitai came again. This time the Lord passed a more strict verdict, as it were. He said, "Shripad, go back to Gour and be a householder, get married." Wow. Actually, a question for you, private question. Do you feel more connect with Nitai Goswami, the householder, or with the Nitai Avaduta, the crazy ecstatic Nitai? How do you feel about that? For Nitai, it wasn't a simple order. It was rather a bolt from the blue. He had been an ascetic for about 40 years. Now he has to give up the order, the life of asceticism. No way, no alternative. This is the Lord's will. Nitai returned to Bengal and married Vasudha Jannava. Jai Ho. The two daughters of Surya Das Pandit of Ambika Kalna. Nityananda was an ascetic. Nimai became an ascetic. Worldly people might think and conclude that one could not attain to the lotus feet of Krishna without renouncing the world. Keeping this possibility in the mind, the Lord had to take this decision in regard to Nitai. Raghunath Das of Saptagram had to meet the Lord twice in Bengal. He was not allowed by the Lord to renounce the world. Now, when Nitai, in the course of his Nam Prem movement, reached Panihati, he came there and fell at his feet. Nityanand addressed him as thief. All those present there were rather shocked to hear the word. Such eminent successor and the only son of Govardhan, the Semindar of Saptagram, is a thief. It was but Nitai's humorous way of stating a fact. Actually, the followers of Lord Gouranga hold that one cannot attain to the Lord unless one receives the blessings of Nitai first. So far, Raghunath had been running to the Lord directly. He did not go through proper channel. The path of attainment lay through Nityananda. Now, at Panihati, he received the blessings of Nitai, and very soon got an opportunity to run away from home and met the Lord at Puri. He remained with the Lord up to the last. He was one of the 6 Goswamis and famous for his austere way of life. This episode also is narrated here in the Bhajanita Gaura de Shanjapo Hare Krishna Hare Ram. What is it? Also, I am quoting this episode here. It was probably a matter of chance that only Jiva, one of the 6 Goswamis, didn't meet the Lord. It is said that when the Lord went to Ramkeli, he was a little child, 5 years old. He was in the lap of his mother behind the door and looked up to the Lord from a distance. He, however, later on at Navadvip, received the blessings of Nitai, who directed him to go to Vrindavan. As a learned man, Jiva had no parallel in the country at that time. His Gopal Champu is one of the remarkable works in the Gaudiya Vaishnava literature. Every year, the chariot festival Ratha Yatra of Jagannath was celebrated with great joy, vigor and fervor. The Gaudiya devotees brought many things of the Lord's liking in the jalis. The jalis of Raghava Pandit and Sridhar Pandit are especially mentioned. These chalice were handed over to Govind, the Lord's attendant. The event is known as Jali Samarpan. The next day, well, by the way, Samarpan also, if I remember correct, you can correct me, is one of the name of the Viking celebration that gave the starting or the idea of the Halloween. The original is Samarpan. Samahati? No, Samarpan, something like this is. So my Scandinavian friends can correct me on this. The next day, Gundija Marjan was done. Gundija is the place where Jagannath, Balbhadra and Subhadra sit in their cars, go and stay for about a week. For the Lord as Radha, Jagannath was Krishna, and the march from the temple to the Gundija Mandir was as it were Krishna's journey from Kurukshetra to Vraj, Vrindavan. Keeping this journey in view, the Lord along with his devotees swept and washed Gundija very painstakingly. My Krishna will come tomorrow, dear Lalita and Vishaka. Let us prepare and beautify the Kunj. The Lord will say to Svarupa and Ramanand, this was Gundija Manjar. This was Gundija Marjan. The third day, the actual Rath Yatra took place. As Krishna Jagannath was going to Vrindavan, the Lord's joy and enthusiasm knew no bounds. 7 Kirtan Sampradayas, groups all equipped with cymbals and mridanga and drums, will sing and dance round the car of Jagannath. The Lord himself will go ahead, dancing and singing in front of the car. Wasn't Radha, the Lord, escorting her Prambandhu to Vrindavan? During the return journey of Jagannath, the Lord's mood will be altogether different. Actually, on the very eve of this, his mood will at once change. At the very thought that her Prambandhu will leave Vrindavan the next morning, Gaurang Radha will be dejected and melancholic. In the morning, as the chariot will be moving, she will pour out all her complaints and grievances against Krishna. To her, this return journey means separation from him again. It means the souls leaving the body. Svarupa and Ramanand will somehow control her. Part of the Lord's daily routine was his going to see the Mangal Arti of Jagannath. When Jagannath wakes up in the early morning, he is worshipped by the light. This ritual is called Mangal Arti. On his way back, he will go to the Siddhavakul to meet Thakur Haridas. It was Haridas' wish, rather the last wish, to breathe his last holding the lotus feet of the Lord, looking at his moon-like face and uttering his name, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Haridas entreated the Lord to grant him this boon. The Lord fulfilled this wish. One morning he went to the hut of Haridas as usual, stood in front of him. Haridas, old and presently ill, lay on the floor. The companions of the Lord started kirtan round him. He beckoned the Lord to come nearer, put his foot on his chest, keep looking at his face and chanting the name Sri Krishna Chaitanya, left for the eternal abode of the Lord. Jai Haridas, Jai Haridas. This episode is in the Lila of the Lord. The Lord makes two things very clear. First, the Lord is Bhakta Vatsal, that he has love and affection for the devotees as parent has for it for their children. The Lord not only fulfilled the wishes of Haridas, but also begged alms from the shopkeepers at the main entrance of the Jagannath temple to celebrate the Kanda Utsava, the formal dinner in honor of the just departed soul. Secondly, the lifelong practice of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra leads one to the lotus feet of Lord Gauranga. The end is Lord Chaitanya, whereas the means is the Mahamantra. Jai Ho, ecstatic. The Lord gave Haridas Samadhi himself. His tomb at Swargdvar, Puri, is being served and worshipped by the followers of Sripad Ramdas Babaji Maharaj, the renowned Bengali saint. Jai Ho, Jai Radharaman. Dev, Dana, Muni, Gandharva, and of course human beings all used to come and met our Lord at Puri. Bibhishan, the younger brother of Ravan, the ruler of Sri Lanka in the Tetra Yuga, also visited the Lord. One Dravid Brahmin noticed that he met the ascetic. The Lord went back without going to the Jagannath temple. He surprisingly asked Bibhishan, "How is it that you didn't see Lord Jagannath?" Bibhishan retorted, "You fool, the ascetic himself is Jagannath, Gauranga." Suffice to say, on account of Bibhishan, the Brahmin also received the Lord's blessings. The Lord, after the initiation, spent 6 years traveling across the country. Another 6 years passed, as usual, in their routine activities. But now Yogamaya Devi stepped in to start the real game. The game continued for the remaining 12 years of the Lord's Leela on earth. How did Gour Kishori play the game? Sitting behind Svarupa and Raghunath Das, I try to see, understand and throw some light on this Gambhira Lila. 1. The sense of sight. Gour Kishori rushed to the temple to see Jagannath. He attracts her and the attraction is irresistible. 2. The sense of taste. One day the attendant of Jagannath gave her the Balya Bhog Prasad. She put an iota of it on her tongue, and the rest Govind kept carefully in his cloth. She was so overcome by the particle of prasad that she uttered Sukriti Lavya Felalav. 3. The sense of hearing. Gour Kishori hears, rather imagines that she heard Krishna's speech. Each and every word that he utters is so full of nectar, as it were, that she totally forgets the outside world. We are speaking about Gauranga Mahaprabhu, and parenthesis that we saw part of this lecture, these pages we read already on the previous video. She was brought to the Gambhira. The kirtan was held for quite a long time. It revives her senses. At times she wonders how this bamboo piece occupies the coveted place of Krishna's lips and continues to suck the sweet nectar that flows from them. 4 and 5. The sense of touch and smell. Gaur Kishori's mood suddenly changed. Her face is brightened. Yes, Krishna has turned up at last. He embraces her. She is in his lap. The lotus fragrance of his body enraptures her. This fragrant meeting, as it were, transports her so that she altogether forgets her very existence. Strangely, the extremity of her joy at times make her sad and helpless. She began to feel the pangs of separation from her Pran Bandhu. Separation in meeting. This is possible only in Radha's love. Gopis are Mahavav Vati, but the Madan, Mahavav, is her absolute monopoly, Radharani or Sri Gauranga. The state of meeting and union, and then that of separation, Radha feels and enjoys both, deeply and extremely. During the day, in the presence of the devotees, our love-laden Gourang Radha, Gaur Kishori, somehow tries to be normal, to control her feelings, but as the night advances, her Krishna Viraha, separation from Krishna, is beyond control. At that time, her only companions are Lalita, Svarup Damodar, and Vishaka, Ramananda Roy. They try their utmost to console and pacify her by reciting the verses of her favorite writing like Krishna Karnamrita by Bilba Mangal, Jagannath Vallabh by Ramanand, Git Govinda by Jaidev, and the songs of Chandidas Vidyapati. Okay, this time we will stop here, and I will see you in the next episode. I hope you enjoyed this reading. So much nectar, actually, so much nectar. Thank you very much for being with me, for staying here, glorifying the Leela of our Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Jai Nitai, Jai Gaur, Jai Jai Shri Radesha. Gaura Premanande Haribo.
Nitai.